Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, Friday morning, finally Friday, September 17th, 2021. The man they call Meathead and the M.O.T.S, Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you, Meathead.
Friday, reminds me of Antonio Brown a couple of years ago. Remember how dude got fired on his off day? Remember that scene from Friday? How'd you get fired on your off day?
You of Rebecca Black?
Rebecca Black? What?
Yeah, Friday. Remember the song Friday?
No. I'm talking about Cube and Chris Tucker.
Yeah, that's okay. Friday just reminds us of something different.
Yeah. Okay. Let's carry on. Carry us into some really good gear from Collar and Elbow.
Well, you know what? If you're looking for something to wear on your Friday night or your Saturday night or your Sunday night or even your Monday day or your Monday night or your Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday day, Thursday night, or we're back to Friday, it's Collar and Elbow brand. That's right. Available at collarandelbowbrand.com. You're going to need a shirt for every day of the week. So you're going to want to save some money. You're going to want to save 10% by entering promo code Linda K, Lindakay. Save yourself 10% and get yourself outfitted.
Matthew, you said you were amongst the people and they were wearing collar and elbow. Linda's been amongst the people. They're wearing collar and elbow. I'm at the house wearing collar and elbow. I get asked about it all the time. Saving 10% with Linda K as the promo code. Let's talk a little news before we get into tonight's Rampage and Smackdown. Smackdown. Let's talk about, first off, we didn't bring this up on Tuesday, but the end of the match between Nikki A.S.H and Tamina. Who won that match?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you're going by your eyes, you would think that Nikki won it. However, if you listen to the announcer and if you listen to the music, you would be led to believe that Tamina won it. It's a mystery. You'll have to look at the record book.
Well, it looks like Nikki won it. It looks like Rhea won her match, and it looks like the women's tag team champions continue to lose. So, I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that seems about fair.
Coming up on October 21st, Matthew, that is a very big day. Do you know what's happening October 21st? And again, it's not a Friday. It's a Thursday, October 21st.
I need to check my planner. I think I've got something planned.
You need to check with Ned Flanders? What?
Yeah, I need to check with Ned Flanders, and I need to consult my planner.
Oh, your planner. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, the WWE is back to traveling again outside the country, and it's the Saudi Arabia show, the Crown Jewel. Main event has been announced. Matthew, who's in the main event at Saudi Arabia?
Oh, it's gonna be Brock and Roman.
It's a big-time match. It's the tribal chief against the leader of the Onion Brigade, Brock Lesnar.
And it's going to be new hairstyle Brock Lesnar's first appearance in Saudi Arabia.
It is. I would hate for him to be on a plane ride from hell back, which he was a part of, the last big plane ride from hell, and have to have him lose his ponytail.
And for some reason, man, I don't think that would go over quite as well as a Michael Hayes losing his ponytail.
Well, and folks, we're spoiling it. Dark Side of the Ring debuted last night, and we'll talk about it again next week at some point. But I don't want to go too deep into it. Thoughts and opinions of what happened with the ponytail from hell. But there's a lot of stuff that came out of there. A lot of stuff that they didn't talk about.
It's a safe bet, man. If somebody cut Brock's ponytail on a plane, that plane's probably going down.
Well, I mean, it's better than falling asleep with whipped cream on your head. So, All right. Let us talk about NXT from Tuesday. He debuted in the NXT's. Did you notice that his tights, his wrestling gear, was the same color as the NXT logo?
Yeah, that's the way you do it, man. That's the way you make your first impression on NXT and Meathead. It's not NXT. It's NXT 2.0 or 2.0.
Bron Brekker is officially not to be referenced as the son of Rick Steiner. The only thing that got out was, there was a quick Vic Joseph dog-faced gremlin reference to Bron Brekker, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. Like, you don't want to talk about any wrestling lineage to create intrigue. You want to be able to wipe that slate clean and, give them a nice kind of generic creator wrestler cookie cutter name. That's the
CAW
way you get
wrestlers, that's
results.
what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And what's his name again?
Bron Brekker.
Do you find it somewhat interesting that after you push the heck out of a guy that you no longer have on your roster that you released, whose name is Braun, you immediately start pushing another Braun?
Yeah, and you know what? He immediately got thrust into the main event because
Yeah.
at the end of the show, he was eyeballing Milwaukee's own, the NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you don't know what anybody's thinking, but here's how it strikes me. It strikes me a little bit as fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon. Hey, well, we cut a Braun, we're going to make another Braun because we can. And yeah, let's make sure everybody knows his name is Braun.
It's just petty, to be completely honest. But, hey, that's their thing. It's their show. They can do whatever they want to do, right?
I imagine.
Just like as petty as it was to say that they no longer can have taglines to the WWE pay-per-views. They had that long run of pay-per-views that was like WrestleMania 36, too big for one night. Money in the Bank, the risk is worth the reward. Backlash, the greatest wrestling match ever, ever, ever. The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. SummerSlam, you'll never see it coming. Clash of Champions, Gold Rush. The Undertaker's Final Farewell, a Republic Day blockbuster, WrestleMania 37, back in business, baby. They're done. They're gone.
I think the only time that it really adds anything or it makes sense is if you were to do something like it in your house where you had the same pay-per-view multiple times during the year and you needed something to separate one from the other. Right. Yeah, it makes sense there. But no, I think it's just scrapping it. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, all your pay-per-views, man, they've got brand recognition enough on their own.
Well, before we get into breaking down Rampage and Smackdown for tonight, I have to ask you, Matthew, have you seen my new favorite female wrestler video that's out there? Linda knows my favorites. We're talking about Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad we're faring better than fellow professional wrestling podcaster Dave LaGreca.
Dave LaGreca apparently sucks eggs. What we're referencing. Go ahead.
That's what her shirt said, and thankfully that's a shirt you can't get at collarandelbowbrand.com.
What we're referencing is, and we're not ones that start leaning into, talking about other shows, right? But this has to come up. This is news. AEW talent, all elite talent, Thunder Rosa and Dave LaGreca from the Busted Open radio show, which features Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, and Mark Henry on different days of the week. She has had an ongoing beef with Dave LaGreca, and she posted pictures on Tuesday night of her in Dave LaGreca's wife's bed. And then Wednesday, while recording the program, Dave LaGreca, he gets attacked from Thunder Rosa while they're recording it, and it was absolutely tremendous. She took over the spot for him and did her version of what Dave LaGreca does. Wears a t-shirt that says LaGreca sucks eggs while he has socks stuffed in his mouth and he's taped up. And I mean, literally, she's just beating the piss out of him.
That's a very accurate description. You know what? I need to do a little bit of digging and maybe see if I can find somebody to recreate that moment with you, Meathead.
Well, if Thunder Rosa wants to come and interrupt this very podcast, I love Thunder Rosa. I absolutely, and I mean, literally, she went from me digging her from a 9.8 out of 10 to a 10 because this was absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, she's a little bit out of my pay grade, so that's setting the bar a little bit too high. I can't do quite that well, but I can still probably rustle up somebody to tie you up and put a sock in your mouth and film it.
It's Thunder Rosa or nobody, to be honest with you.
I'll see what I can do.
But absolutely tremendous. I mean, worth the watch, folks. Go on to YouTube. Thunder Rosa attacks Dave LaGreca. Busted Open Radio 9/15/21. So Absolutely worth the time. Not that we want you to take your time away from listening to us here at PWR Live, but you have to see it to believe it. Finally, let's talk SmackDown. Let's talk Rampage. First off, SmackDown. Not really a big hyped show, but because they just made the grandiose announcement of what's going to happen at Crown Jewel, I believe they're going to be setting towards that. But, that technically leaves off Finn Balor. So the title match is supposed to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Why did they put the Demon out there to face Roman Reigns if they're already setting up the next match for the title?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though, and I think I mentioned this before. Do you think that increases the odds of Finn Balor, the Demon, taking the belt to make this Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns match a one-off on its own?
It's a good question, man, because it doesn't. I mean, it's a special attraction match. It doesn't need the belt,
And you don't want the belt there. You don't want the belt to part of that match.
I don't think so, because if you do go Lashley Goldberg there, that's a non-title match. I think you need to have your champion on that. I think you need to have a title match on that card.
Well, who's to say that Finn Balor couldn't have somebody else?
Yeah. I like the added intrigue, but as good of a match as I think this is going to be, I think this is just I think with it being an international event like that and it involving Brock, you're most likely not going to have Brock work consecutive U.S. dates. You needed to start building this thing pretty quick, and I think it's just unfortunately, a placeholder for right now.
Well, then it is what it is, so then why bring out the Demon? I mean, because really, don't they just crap on the Demon character? The Demon character means nothing now.
Yeah. No, I think they're trying to make it feel a little bit more special. And, if it's going to be a foregone conclusion, then I think they at least want to give you that scary guy.
Next week in AEW, we have two 2-hour shows. I don't know if you caught this news, but not only is Dynamite going to be its normal 2 hours, Rampage next week, 2 hours from Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yeah, AEW's going big next week.
Tonight on Rampage, we're going to have Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix, the tag team champions, defending against the Butcher and the Blade.
Interesting. I mean, I think it's I doubt there's a title change here, but I think it'll be a good match, and it's good to see Butcher and Blade in action again as a team.
Miro takes on Fuego del Sol for the TNT Championship, or does Miro win Fuego's 1973 Chevy Vega?
I want to see him walk away with the Vega.
Anna Jay versus the Bunny.
Yeah, I think this is a fairly evenly matched, and this might be the premiere of both of them on a Rampage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, but you know what? I think we've got a solid hour. We're going to, I like their flow so far. I mean, let's 100%. Talk about Rampage for the last how many weeks? How long has it been? What, a month?
Roughly about a month, yeah. It was SummerSlam weekend when it premiered.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So Rampage has a 1-hour show. Now, how the 2-hour show is going to look, I have no idea. But they have a 1-hour show. 3 matches.
Yeah.
Little conversation with this person, that person, and the other thing. Back and forth. Let's get to a match. Match at the top, match at the middle, match at the end. How do you like their flow?
I love it. And I like the fact that the matches are announced ahead of time. I mean, really, unless you're talking about, what NWA does, the last hour show that was seen by a lot of viewers was the original format of NXT. And they were not, I mean, as WWE typically is, they were not as consistent as far as announcing the card ahead of time. That's the good thing about AEW, and I think that's really what they have done to build the entire roster, but especially that mid card, man. Look at perception. Look at the perception of having
working on that mid card hard.
They are. And this is news to me. I did not realize what announcing mid-card matches ahead of time can actually do, to drive people up that card. But, the perception that you get with WWE's programming man, I mean, you might have a main event or two announced, with your main event talent, but for more or less, the mid card just kind of comes out there in no particular order, and it gives the perception as filler. When you start announcing that ahead of time, as AEW has done, it just elevates the entire brand.
Real happy with and you know what? Mark seems to be getting, Mark Henry, that is, seems to be getting a little bit better because, his job is to interview the two competitors for the main event. Still a little nervous. I think he's getting better, but I like that little spot now.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Mark Henry, he's not John Doe off the street. It's Mark Henry. So if he's a little unpolished or a little green, I think the audience is going to give him the benefit of the doubt because you've been watching him for 20, 25 years.
Right. I just don't like the 4-man commentary booth. It's too much.
So what you're saying is you want it to go up to 5 or 6. I got you.
On 2 monitors. Everybody huddled around 2 screens.
Yeah, that's what you need.
It looks terrible. It absolutely looks terrible. You got 4 guys. He had on Dynamite. He had Excalibur. He had Jim Ross. He had Tony Schiavone, and he had Punk. And then all of a sudden, here comes Team Taz, right? And it was too much. And am I wrong? But did they look like they were using a strict cardboard table or a card table there? Like it didn't move at all.
Yeah, possible.
That was not a commentary booth. That was a card table with all their stuff stacked up.
And it did,
they had a nice little bunting.
Did not break, so yeah. Everybody needs good bunting on their table.
All right. Well, the only good bunting you're going to get nowadays isn't in baseball, so.
Not at all, man. I'm more of a fan of hit by a pitch than bunting,
Bunting barely exists anymore in baseball.
If you want to get on base, man, just kind of like doing the hokey pokey, just stick your right leg out and you get on first base, man. I was always a fan of that.
Stick your right leg out and then you move it all about. Did you know that Taylor Rotunda is also possibly on his way back to the wrestling world?
Taylor Rotunda, I'm not familiar with that. Is that the guy does he do the hokey pokey?
No, but he is a brother of Wyndham.
Oh, interesting.
His official wrestling name is Bo.
Oh, interesting. He's where's he headed? Where's the speculation?
Could be the kitchen. Could be a wrestling ring. Who knows? But he's got something cooking. Pun intended.
Oh my goodness. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Well, Taylor Rotunda, otherwise known as Bo Dallas, possibly on their way back. And then finally, one more bit of news here. Did you know that Awesome Kong is retired? Now, when Awesome Kong retired, she literally retired on live TV and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, and I was watching it was the Empower pay-per-view. I was watching that the weekend that it happened. I didn't know that nobody else was in on it. That's news to me.
That is the week in wrestling, my friends. For Linda Kay, for the man they call Meathead, for Matthew Thomas, I got those 2 backwards. Yes, I did. For Matthew Thomas on the man they call Meathead, you guys have a great week. Make sure that you watch the opening weekend of the NFL this weekend because last weekend didn't count. Last weekend didn't count. That was still preseason in my books. Even though our starting quarterback does look like Nicolas Cage just got a movie role to play Tom Brady, and that was his interpretation.
That's something you can't unsee after you hear that.
He looks like a guy that steals catalytic converters. All right. For Linda, for Matthew, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.